Ta-da! Got it. Well, I think I do at least anyways. What I mean by that is I've got all the functions working. I'll go through everything in a second. I'm using a bunch of 20 amp ESCs, small ones. I'm not sure if some of them are going to hold up or not. I will have to see. Time will tell. I did put a big one on the this boom here. This one's got the Hobby Wing knockoff. I think it's a 1060 amp style one as well. I got it on. I got it off Amazon, and it was just listed as like under SEX10 ESC, I think it was, and it's a knockoff. I've used one before in one of my builds for a dump truck or a trailer hauler. I can't remember which one it was. And I ran a 3S LiPo through it, and I fried it, although it said it was rated for a 3S. So this machine just being 2-cell only, I don't think I'm going to have any issues with that, so I put that one in there. I forgot I actually had it, so it was nice when I was going through my spare parts bin the other day. I found it, and I thought, yes, I can use that for this here. So the tracks are using 20 amp ESCs, which look like this right here. These little guys. You can get them online. They're little, I call them micro ESCs. Without brake is important. It has something to do with, I think the machine was like stopping in between moves, right? Like the brake on your ESC would be like forward, brake, reverse. You don't want to be trying to do nice smooth motions and always having to stop and then readjust the stick again. It would be frustrating. So it's nice to have just no brake. You just go forward, backwards. I've never snapped a motor doing that, so should be okay. Whoops. This one I gotta be careful. That switch I just decided to move. That one doesn't have a spring in this. I was looking for a spring kit, and then a fellow on the page here was nice enough to provide me with a link, so I'm going to put a spring into that, just so that when I'm using it, I can just take my hand off. I'm not sure, and boom, the motor will go into a neutral position on that stick there. I think I used in total 5 20 amp ESCs without brake, and then I used one knockoff Hobby Wing 1061 for the main. I call this the main boom. I always call this one the second boom. I noticed here I accidentally got one of these little toy lines pinched in there, so I'm just going to have to pull this screw out, pull that back around, put it in the clip, because I think it's binding a little bit in there when I close the boom. But other than that, it's all fully functioning. And see if I can try and do hold the camera and you can see it going. So there's full stick back, full stick forward. This is second boom out, and going back in again. Whoops. That one goes pretty quick there, so I gotta be mindful. There's a rotation. Oops. Knock my T over. No, I'm good. There's the rotation there. That's at full speed rotating. And that one is on a 20 amp ESC, I said, so. And then, let's see, bucket curl right there. I remember when I first got it, I thought, oh, it curls back really nicely, like a nice distance back. And then I remember bringing it in and thought, oh, felt like it didn't curl a lot. It didn't curl. I thought it didn't curl a lot in. Sorry, just trying to get used to it here. Yeah. It almost looks like it's curling in a bit more, honestly. I don't know. But I've seen online, I think some people had made some longer ones of these or those. I can't remember which one it was. I got a 3D printer. I might just look at doing the same thing and extending those, or maybe making them out of metal or something, make them a little bit stronger. So yeah, there's all that. In, rotating, and bucket. So just getting used to the controls on it. It's a very, it's a lot faster of a machine than any of the electric machines I've ever had. So here's the track function. There's track function there. And they do go, it's hard for me to do this here, but there we go. Just gotta kind of give her the old reach around. Anyways, so yeah, it's fully moving here. The one thing I don't have right now, which is not a big deal to me, is the lights on the cab. I'm gonna have to sort something out for that. I might just rewire it and then maybe tie it into a plug. I might be able to put it into like the bind plug on the receiver maybe. Worst case scenario, if not, I just make a little circuit with some the wires that are there. Maybe rewire it with, I got some real small wire for doing LEDs. I think it's basically similar thing to here, right here. That's just a little 3-volt like little button battery, like a little watch battery kind of thing. And I just put a piece of paper in between to break the contact so it shuts the lights off. And then if you want the lights on, you just pull the piece of paper out and boom, lights come on. So that could be something that could just be on its own little battery separate if I had to. And that I would just be fine with that. That'd be good enough there. So yeah, here we go. Finally got her going. What a gong show. I did a video yesterday kind of doing a bit more detail of looking actually inside the machine as to what I was doing. So I hope that kind of helps some people out. Like I said, like I'm not 100% sure if some of these 20 amp ESCs are going to hold up, so I might end up having to replace some for bigger ones, but that's testing, right? That's ironically the thing that should have happened with these the first place when they left the hobby shop in China, was that they should have tested them. So if your machine's broken and you're really eager to get it fixed, you know, I'm gonna post anything that I find along the way that needs to be taken out or repaired. But the ESCs, they cost about $10 on eBay. And so if one goes, you can easily unplug them with the JST leads, I can at least, and put a higher rated one in for $10 or something like that. It's not that big a deal to me. It's not like the circuit board I got where there's like 6 all together and you have to replace the whole entire thing if one goes, sort of thing. So I can pull each one out individually and maintain it that way, which is, I think, is really nice to do. So maybe just, you know, I want to put this thing under some tests before people kind of look at the video and go, oh, that's how you fix it, and then you go buy a bunch of stuff, and then maybe some things don't hold up, because I'm learning myself here, right, to know which parts are going to go. I know I could redo it, but I'm not sure if the 20 amp stuff, those ESCs, hold up on those bigger motors. I use the small ESCs on the little N20 motors all the time, and I never have a problem, but these are kind of bigger ones, so I'm a little bit unsure of that. But either way, it's going right now, and pretty happy with it. So I'm going to give it a test dig over there in the old dirt pile and have some fun with it and see how that goes. And I'll probably make a little video with that on the side with this video and then post it. So the one thing I noticed, if you're going to use those ESCs to fix anything, when I went through the whole entire machine, I had to pull basically all apart. There's green motherboards on the motors for the tracks. You have to pull the bottom plate off. You have to desolder those little green circuit boards. They have to come off before you can put the wires back on and then run the wires back to those ESCs. So you need to undo the bottom piece, take the tracks off. There's videos showing how to do it. You put a screwdriver in there to pull that idler arm spring back, and then you pull it all the way over, and then you pull the track off, and then things come off easy enough. This is worth mentioning right here. When I was going through, I made this little diagram because when I initially looked at the slip ring wires coming out in the center for the slew gear, I kind of wired them backwards, and I thought, I thought I had them, but I didn't. So on my machine here, I think they're all the same, but this was on mine. is that if you're looking at this machine facing down, standing up, so the back Volvo plate would be here. This is looking at it underneath. On the left side, yellow and black. Yellow is positive, black is negative. And then on the right side, red is positive, green is negative. So when you go to solder those together, just make sure you don't switch them over, because I did that initially and I had to undo it and then put a few things back together. So also too, another thing worth mentioning, if you look over here and see, they labeled everything in the machine when they initially did it, and there was a little E sticker and a little D sticker that came out of the boom, and I traced them back that the E sticker on the red and white wire was for the second boom. Sorry, second boom, I should point to that. Second boom, first boom, second boom. And the D sticker controlled the bucket. There is limit switches that go in there, but they're just wired to the limit switches and then went from there straight to the circuit board. So the motors that are in there, they don't have any green circuit boards wired to them, and there's nothing connected to, in terms of limit switches, to those motors. So there's nothing to really, you need to disconnect there when you pull the boom apart. I actually ended up going in there and disconnecting it all because I needed to see what was going on. And I just found that when I pulled them all apart, the only one that I had to hook back together was just there's like a Futaba connector in here, kind of, and it's just a positive and negative wire that they put a little connection for in here to come out. Oh, it goes into here. So they come out here, it goes in through here, comes out down here, and then runs back up into the motor there. So you just plug that back in, and that's just to control the motor here for the boom and bucket function. So you don't really need to go into the boom, but if you want to have a look around in there, you can anyways. It's yeah, whatever, your choice on that one. But yeah, so I just ended up soldering a bunch of JST connectors throughout everything, and I basically just kind of redid it all. I pretty much took everything from the motors, solder connections on it, everything there, and then made sure that there was no green boards that were on the back of the motors, because they did interfere with the signal and they weren't working. So you have to take that stuff off before you can redo something like this. Yeah, well, what else? I did notice that the wires that come from the boom and the bucket were quite thinner than the other wires. So I don't know if maybe in the future that might be something that might be worth doing. This is running like maybe a little bit of thicker wire from those two back down to the boom and redoing it, which isn't a big ordeal. The only thing I found on this that was actually kind of the most, I don't want to say the most pain in the ass thing, but when I went to pull the pin out that holds this boom onto the assembly that holds the motors and all that together, to get that pin out was quite stiff. And I know that they showed trying to like take some of the relief off of it and just help wiggle out. I got it out, but it was pretty stiff, so you might find that that's a bit stiff. I think it might just be the paint that went into the hole. It kind of thickened up that OD for that pin to go through. So I got it back in and stuff, but it was just a little bit kind of tough to pull that out. What else? I don't know. I don't think there's anything else right now. Other than just get it dirty for the first time and have some fun with it and see what it looks like loading up the Elsa mini dumper. I got a slew of wiring back here that I got to clean up, but whatever. There's lots of room in here, which is nice for a change, because a lot of the Brooder models I do are super small, and that is a challenge to get the wiring into. This is quite nice. I feel like I have a lot of space to play with. Yeah. Other than that, I'll try and look at doing some lights in the future. But for now, voila, here we go. Finally got what I paid for.